Welcome to the channel with Reverend Dr. Jason W. Morrison, theologist. I don't practice as a theologist anymore because the call went off my life. I didn't have the right attitude and spirit towards it anymore. As a matter of fact, I was fed up with the attitudes and the ways of fallen human nature and trying to deal with it as a good person. I decided to look at things differently and got out. Now I'm helping people with what I learned and what I know about life and evil, being trained in evil. That's what a lot of people don't understand. When you're trained in evil, you're actually quite dangerous yourself because you can see what's coming, what's happening, and what to do about it. 9 times out of 10, when you're dealing with evil, it's best just to stand back and watch and don't engage. Because evil's got a funny way of turning in on itself. I learnt that over the years, and it comes at great expense to everyone involved. If you can have the foresight in a relationship to try and be loving and be the best person that you can be, that's all that really matters at the end of the day. If unresolved, and people wonder, what is unresolved? Well, unresolved is anything in the relationship that illegitimately is causing the relationship to suffer. I'll say that again. This is one definition of the hundreds of definitions for unresolved. Unresolved is the illegitimate part of a relationship that shouldn't be there and can be ridden. See, you can make up many different definitions for unresolved. Here's another one. Unresolved is the thorn in the side of the relationship. Okay, unresolved is the landmine on which the relationship will tread and be destroyed. And if that ain't enough, unresolved is the atom bomb that's going to blow the relationship to bits. So unresolved is a pretty important thing, and it needs to be dealt with swiftly. What areas of unresolved can you think of that you might be able to improve your relationship? Everything in a relationship that's going to fail, it's going to fail because of unresolved. Whether you want to accept that or not, whether you can appreciate that or not, whether you want to talk about it or not, whether you value relationship enough or not, everything in your relationship is going to rise and fall on resolve and unresolved. It's just how it works. There's nothing that we can do about it. If you have the powers to resolve and be resolved, right? Because all resolve starts within ourselves. Then you have powers that not many people have. And personal resolve starts with looking internally at yourself and asking yourself, what can I do characteristically to improve myself? What do I need to do, given the Christian standards of living and the values and integrities that matter? Do I need to resolve within myself to be a better person? What do I need to do to look within myself and possibly get rid of, particularly if there's incremental dark triad characteristic traits? And let me tell you something about incremental dark triad characteristic traits can come out of resentment. And resentment is usually the great indicator that something needs to be resolved. And if you've got resentment right now, I want you to stop and ask yourself, why is it there? What's causing it? And how can it be resolved? Because resentment causes affairs, it causes suicide, it causes alcohol and drug abuse, it causes shame, it causes guilt. Resentment makes people make decisions that otherwise they wouldn't make, and usually they're in a destructive area. The only way resentment can be dealt with is to bring resolve to the problem. So many people that have affairs in their relationships do it because they've got to soothe away from the thing that's causing them resentment. Now, that's not necessarily a solution. Actually, most times it makes things worse. But that's how powerful resentment is. You can resent or you can resolve. It's one or the other. And unresolved is the victory for the enemy. Who is your enemy? I know who all of us have as an enemy, and that's the devil and his cronies, his spiritual forces that come against us to wreck the most important thing in life besides ourselves, which is our relationships. Now, you might not be spiritual, but if you are, or whether you are or aren't, you better work out what you need to resolve, because one thing's for sure, whether you're spiritual or Christian or whatever you are, unresolved will take you down. And it'll take you down hard. And if you're not careful, it'll take everybody else down around you if they haven't got the wisdom and the discernment to see what it's going to do. Unresolved will help people come into your life and rob you, cheat you, use you, abuse you. It will leave you without excuse, without conscience. Unresolved can cause people to commit suicide. That's how heavy unresolved is. Lots of people in the mental homes and that seek therapy are there because they haven't got resolve. I don't think people realize how dangerous unresolved is. I challenge you, everybody listening to this right now, what do you need to resolve? It's not a joke. It's serious shit, isn't it? Well, you might not think it is, but it is. There's people hurting because of unresolved. There's people wounded because of unresolved. What do you need to resolve? Okay, so you go, well, God done this and God resolved his part in all this when Christ died on the cross. He allowed us to kick the shit out of him and crucify him and kill him. And as far as I'm concerned, that was God manifest in the flesh. God come and said, here, pay back. Pay me back for the mess I made. That's the God we follow, a God of accountability and responsibility. We need to be the same because it's a part of our nature. It's the part of a way in which you've been designed. You can't run away from what you need to be responsible and accountable for. It will destroy you. That's why people are bound up in their mind and their body is crippling. You have to dig deep, look inside yourself and find what it is or what those things are that you need to resolve, and do it fast. Reverend Dr. Jason W. Morrison, theologist. Bye for now.